Hi everyone, News Channel 5's Chris Conti here on Open Line. We want to thank you for joining us here this evening. We have Misty, Leitsch, and did I say that right?
You did.
Okay. And Grace Eakin from the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network joining us here this evening. We are talking about suicide and suicide prevention because it is Suicide Prevention Month. Again, as we just get started here, a few numbers for folks. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. You can also text 741-741. Do they have to put anything in the body of that text?
Just the letters TN.
TN, and just send a text message, and someone will answer on the other side. Got it. And also there's the statewide line, which is 855-274-7471. Is there a difference between the national hotline and the state one?
There is a difference.
And maybe, I don't want to say why, but what I don't know if someone was maybe thinking about needing some help, why maybe would you direct them more towards the state one as opposed to the national one?
We would direct them to whichever one they feel most comfortable with. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline phone number is good anywhere in the country. So we like to give that one out in trainings in case there's a family member in the audience and they maybe have someone in another state that they're concerned about. It wouldn't be beneficial for them to hand out the Tennessee statewide crisis line to someone in Texas or New Mexico.
Got it.
But the Tennessee statewide crisis line is manned and operated by the crisis centers here in Tennessee, and so you have a good chance to be connected to a local provider.
Okay. We do want to get to a few calls here. First up we have Gail, who is on line 1 for us. Gail, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi Gail, do me a favor first and mute your television, okay?
What did you say?
Mute your TV for me?
To turn it down?
Yeah, turn it down.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
got it.
Okay, thank you. Gail, where are you calling from?
Green Hills.
Green Hills, okay. And what are you calling about?
I have been very suicidal. I've tried to kill myself many times. And I just wanted to share what my friend said to me that helped me very, very much.
Which was?
She asked me one day, she knew that I had been in and out of psych wards, okay, because of suicide attempts. She said, Gail, why do you want to kill yourself? And I looked at her and I said, to get out of the pain. And she looked back at me. She held her hands out. And she said, don't you know that when you kill yourself, all the pain that you feel, you give to everyone that loves you. I never had a suicide. Well, I've had thoughts, but I've never had another suicide attempt after that.
You're doing okay, right?
I could never have given that at the time. I thought I could never give that pain to anybody.
Are you doing okay right now, Gail?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I'm still a psychiatrist.
Okay. And just a reminder to folks, if they're watching or listening, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number is 800-273-8255. Gail, can I ask you, how hard is it to talk about that?
How hard is it?
Yeah.
I have told it to many people, and the reason is because I was born transgender, okay? I don't know if I should say that, though, or not on TV.
No, it's okay. So that's part of the reason why you've struggled?
Oh, it was, yeah. And I still kind of struggle with it sometimes, but I don't think about killing myself anymore.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. If you had to tell folks maybe one thing that are listening tonight, having been through kind of where you've been, what would you say?
I would say that I would tell them what my friend said to me, and I could not give that pain to anyone.
Yeah.
That, you know.
You ladies want to say anything to Gail?
Gail, we are so glad that you are still here with us. And anytime you feel in pain, reach out to your friends, reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline phone number, but keep fighting.
Oh, I do. And I still see a psychiatrist.
Good.
So, you know, and he saved my life.
Yeah.
He accepted me as I was, you know, and what can I say?
Well, thank you for having the courage to call in and to share your story.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're glad you are okay, Gail. And thank you for calling. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
That is not easy.
No.
I mean, for someone to just even talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope people take away from a conversation like that, when someone has the courage to speak about maybe where they've been and how dark it's been?
Yeah, I hope people are able to take away that there is hope, that you don't have to suffer in silence, that there are resources available and you can talk to someone, or you can text with someone. You know, maybe you don't have enough strength left to be able to have a conversation, but you can text. We're trying to eliminate all barriers we can think of for accessing care, accessing a kind voice, accessing help and hope.
It just leaves you without words sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I think because a lot of people have just been impacted by it in so many different ways, and then to hear something like that from someone personally, it's hard. It's hard to digest too.
Mm.
And I'm just glad she's okay.
Absolutely.
We have Bobby who is online too. Bobby, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Where are you calling from?
The Cheatham County area.
Okay, you doing okay?
There's just something I'd really like to get out there for males. That's all right. Because I know I live in a very country kind of area.
Yeah.
And it's like the unspoken expectation to not have feelings as a guy, pretty much around here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not supposed to cry. No one can see you cry. You're not supposed to talk about your feelings. You make it up. You suck it up. And until my wife basically has been showing me that's not the way to live, I grew up thinking it was normal, and I also, somewhat in my head somewhere, thought it was normal to have suicidal thoughts on a weekly to monthly basis, and it's going on for years.
Yeah.
And I honestly, for a long time, I thought it was normal because you're not supposed to talk, you know?
Right.
And I just really wanted to, if there's any guys that feel that way, man, you got to talk. So I can't verbally talk to someone, but like y'all just said, I can sit there and I can text my wife and like tell her what's going on, and she helps. And I know I need further help, like from a therapist or something. And I realize that now. But I just wanted to say, man, if you're a guy who feels the same way, like you're supposed to not talk about your feelings, you got to fix that. You got to talk, or you're just going to go insane holding it in.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad to hold it in.
Bobby,
I haven't slept 2 or 3 nights.
Bobby, have you ever
Because I can't stop.
Have you ever used the texting number, that 741-741, where you can just text someone? I know you said you have people you can talk to, but
I haven't tried that because I don't open up to anybody, and I still very much of a life. Like, I struggle with it. I'm trying to get better about it, and I recently got to where I can text her all the time about it when I'm struggling.
Okay.
So I think if anyone has that, has a person in their life that they're close to, if you think that they're scared of what they might think, you'd be surprised. If they care about you, they're going to want to help you more than you realize.
Grace or Misty, you want to say anything to Bobby before?
Yeah, I mean, I applaud you for bringing up something that's often overlooked, the male population. That is true. You, and especially in the South, you are raised to be a man and to not say anything. And so, I mean, I encourage you to continue talking to your wife, and I actually encourage you too to go get help. I mean, you can go see somebody, and you don't have to tell everybody in town that you're seeing somebody. That's another thing. I mean, it is good to talk about it, but it's baby steps, and just know that every day you may be getting a little bit better than the day before. And some days are going to be really, really tough, but the next day is still going to come, and it's going to be okay. I mean, truly, I can't say that enough, is that just continue reaching out. And you know what, just like you texting your wife, I think texting that line would be great. I mean, it's a great resource. It's exactly what you were talking about. If you can't talk about it out loud, it is easier to text sometimes, especially in this day and age. So, I mean, definitely just text it. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you were listening or not, but the worst thing that happens is it's not exactly what you need and you try a different resource. But just taking that first step, taking those baby steps to getting more professional help, I mean, that's huge. And you have to give yourself credit where credit's due.
Absolutely, and I would add on to that, even if you're not going to use the crisis text line or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, provide those resources to your friends and family members, because if you're texting your wife is giving you the support, but who's supporting her?
Yeah.
Who's helping guide her through this process, or to be able, so that she has someone she can talk to if she ever has a question, and then can say, you know, I'm trying to help my friend, I'm trying to help my husband, I'm trying to help these people, and I don't know what to do or say. So even if you're not the one having thoughts, you can still access these resources in order to help yourself, help someone you care about.
You okay right now, Bobby?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was really looking out like, y'all are very good people with what y'all are doing right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Listen.
I just really wanted to bring it up because I know it's something
it's
that's
okay.
not
It's good.
No,
It's okay to
really
talk about it.
Yeah.
And listen,
And I was just hoping if there's at least one guy out there who feels the same way and takes something away from this, the call was worth it.
no, and it takes a lot of courage to even just do what you just did. So we appreciate
I was
that.
debating on hanging up.
We are glad you did. We are glad you're here, and
Yes.
and we're glad you called. All right.
All right, thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You
sir.
too. Take
You
care,
too.
Bobby.
Thank you.
It's just, I mean, I sit back and I think about the people who field these calls every day too.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit there and try to stay positive too while you're just, just trying to talk to folks is a lot. Someone who actually we saw a little while ago is on line 3. Samantha, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Thank you for calling in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Samantha used to be with the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network, and you are where now?
I work for Crisis Text Line.
Okay. What's your? Could you hear those other 2 phone calls?
Yes, I could.
What's your takeaway from those 2 calls?
I mean, I think those 2 people were so brave and to share that experience, and I'm glad that they felt like they could call in and impart some of their lived experience to someone who might be listening and not knowing that they can reach out and talk to somebody. And I think that for as much as we applaud people for speaking out that way, I mean, there's over 1 million people like that who have attempted suicide or have lived with suicidal thoughts. And that was just a small taste of that. So I'm glad that was who called in.
Yeah. And like we said, it takes a lot of courage even to just, even to anonymously call into a line. It's still,
Absolutely.
even to this phone or to any other phone, it's even just admit or speak about it is hard. Samantha, what do you want people to take away from this month or this conversation? What do you want people to know?
Well, I'd say that one, reaching out for help is really important. I think that also puts the burden on the person who's in a lot of pain, so it's on the rest of us to be on the lookout for someone who could potentially be suicidal and reach out to them.
Yeah.
And, look for those warning signs and ask them directly about that, and making sure they know what resources are available, because not everybody is equipped to handle that,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right.
But making sure at the very least they know who the people are that they can reach out to, that, the 24/7 call centers, the people who are the front line of that.
Anything you want to, I know you know Samantha, anything you want to say while she's here with us?
No, Samantha is an incredible resource, and we enjoy the partnership that we that we still have with Sam. So anytime I get to hear her voice or hear her wisdom, I feel lucky. Yeah.
Well, gosh, and here I was just to, stage a question for you.
Sam, thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. It's nice to hear your voice.
course.
All
Of
right.
course. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, take care. How important is it to even just discuss some of this?
Suicide is the second leading cause of death.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is unintentional injury.
Yeah.
I think it's vitally important.
Is this how it's? I don't want to say cured because it's not. But is this how it is cured? I mean, is this how just talking about it? Is this a step in the right direction?
Yeah.
Why?
This is a huge step in the right direction.
Why?
Because, people don't want to talk about it. And like we've said, over and over again, they don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. They don't want to admit that there's something wrong because a lot of times that puts the burden on the people around them. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want to make anybody worry about them or anybody to know that they're struggling so hard. I mean, this is literally life-saving to talk about it sometimes. I mean, just to have the support to know that you can speak to somebody else, even if you can't, it's not a physical illness, but it is something, isn't right. You're not feeling right, and that's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't always have to be.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be happy. You don't always have to be with it.
Yeah, nobody is.
It's right.
Nobody's happy all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just when it crosses that line, that's when you need to reach out for help.
Just going back to that, Samantha brought up warning signs. What? Mm-hmm. And I know this is one of those things. It's like you look at it and say, I should have known. I should have had an idea. I should. And it's impossible to always know, right? I mean, sometimes you just have no idea. But what could there be if you see something going on that might tip someone else off, that they see someone and say maybe they at least need help or need to talk to someone? Yeah,
sometimes people will indirectly say that they're thinking about it. Mm-hmm. People don't usually just come out point blank and say things, but sometimes they will hint at it. I think another thing that we discuss at QPRs is a sudden interest or disinterest in religion, giving away possessions. That's big. But a lot of people do possessions just because, let's say I have something that's very, very important to me. If I'm giving that away, that may mean I'm making plans, putting estates in order. Now, this isn't always the case for that, but it is a lot of times. But truthfully, asking indirectly for help is sometimes what happens. Misty can probably, what are some statements that you guys talk about in QPR regularly about indirectly pointing to maybe be thinking about that?
That's a great question, Grace. So some of the verbal statements someone might make would be something along the lines of, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore, life is too difficult, things are never going to change, it's never going to get better, I don't want to be around any longer, you wouldn't miss me if I was gone.
I wish I didn't wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't want to be around anymore.
Yeah.
What about things that aren't as direct as that? Because I feel like someone could hear that and have a pretty good idea of maybe what's going on in someone's head. What about things that maybe are a little more above the surface, maybe?
Sure, absolutely. So whenever we teach QPR, we break it down into verbal clues, behavioral clues, and situational clues. And so whenever we're thinking about different types of behaviors that someone may exhibit, then we're trying to teach number one, a major change in behavior. That's probably the biggest behavioral warning sign that there is. Giving away prized possessions, putting personal affairs in order if they start acquiring some type of lethal means. If they're not an avid shooter, let's say, and all of a sudden they go out to purchase a firearm or they borrow a firearm, that could be an indicator. Just because someone is purchasing a firearm, though, does not mean that they're suicidal. Right. So we have to take all warning signs. We have to look for all different types of warning signs, and obviously the more warning signs there are, the greater the risk.
Right. Taylor, just want to check quick. I see a couple people on the phone. I don't know if those are those new calls. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. If you want to call in and speak with us, the number is 615-737-PLUS. It's 615-737-PLUS, and we will be right back.